Krishna Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya, Bhudale Srimate, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste, Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni, Shesha Shunivati Paschati Vishnu, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri, Vedadadara Shri Vasavika. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the 11th sloka of the 3rd chapter. So today means we were seeing about the Karma Yoga. Devan bhavayata nena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreya param avakshata. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifice, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and the demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So, what is your view about demigod worship? Anybody can answer. Like a brainstorming session. So, just tell me, what do you think about demigod worship? Yes, Mausami Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. There is two ways to define. First of all, we pray to demigods so that they give us power, so that they give us power to Krishna Bhakti, and we approach it. But even in public, we can do that, because public people will just like this Mahasivarati, we go and take water and pour on Shivaji. So what will people think that, oh, they are also Krishna conscious and they also do Shiva Bhakti and all. But we feel that Shiva Bhakti we do because of Krishna conscious, so that we can get Krishna Bhakti.
Okay. Yes, Prithvi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, before coming to Krishna consciousness, whatever we can do, but we know that now the root is Krishna. We should always worship Krishna only. But the mood might be different. Like when we worship Ganesha, we have to anyhow respect, because they are too great than us. But we have to think that they are assisting Krishna in their pastimes, and we are seeing Krishna in them also, Mataji.
Yes, Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So there are two things. One is demigods are the limbs of Krishna. So once we give our obeisances to Krishna, once we give service to Krishna, that is in any case it is going to the demigods also. So that is the one analogy is something like the root of the tree. That is also an analogy. Limbs are also the analogy. And other third point is that whenever because there is a parampara, every family might have a parampara, so it is always not to stop that, but ask for devotion, that yes, please give me devotion to Krishna. I think that's three things I would like to say. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dikshit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Demigod worship is like watering the other part of the plant except the root. Although it may seem useless, but anyhow, at last the person is somewhat conscious that there is someone called as God. But anyhow, watering the root is the ultimate goal and the ultimate intention of our life. So that anyhow, at least for being an atheistic class, worshipping demigod is okay. But anyhow, at last the person has to end up in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Demigods are the administrators appointed by Krishna for particular things. And they are in a particular position to execute certain things that Krishna wants them to execute. And whatever we do for demigod worship, it ultimately reaches Krishna himself. Krishna is the sanctioner of everything.
Yes. So, yes. So, Krishna is the sanctioner. So, that means demigod worshippers are addressed as what? Sharanya Mataji, Bhagavad Gita addresses demigod worshippers as?
Mataji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells demigod worshippers as Pasandi.
Yeah, Pashandi. And the demigod worshippers are actually called as what? Yes, Siddharth Prabhu, Bhagavad Gita describes them as?
You don't know.
Anybody knows?
Mandas, Mataji.
Who? Manda? No.
Mandas.
You mean Mandas?
Santas, SANTAS.
Santas. No.
No, I think they are less intelligent, but I don't know
Very
the
good.
Sanskrit term, Mataji.
Yeah, less intelligent. So the Bhagavad Gita describes the demigod worshippers as less intelligent, called Alpamedasa. Alpameda, not Mudas. Mudas are, see, Namadrushkridina Muda Prabatyandena Rabadava. Mudas are actually fools who doesn't surrender to Krishna. In the 7th chapter, we'll see the 4 kind of people who doesn't surrender to Krishna. Mudas, Naradamas, Maya, Pratatyanam, Asuram, all that. They are the ones who doesn't surrender. But demigod worshippers, they are actually surrendering to the demigods, not Krishna, but then the demigods. So they cannot be, they are indirectly worshipping Krishna, as he said. So they are called Alpamedasa, or less intelligent. And Krishna worshippers are called Sumedasa, the best, most intelligent. Why less intelligent? Because they are asking for temporary material things. The demigods cannot give you moksha, right? Mukti pradadam sarvesham Vishnur evana samshaya. Mukti pradadam sarvesham Vishnur evana samshaya. So mukti can be given only by Krishna, nobody else. So demigods cannot give you moksha. They can give you temporary things like wealth and fame and money and power and all that, which is temporary, and the demigods are asking for that temporary things. Okay, so demigods, as you all said, if they have to sanction you something, Krishna has to sanction, because the demigods are part and parcel of Krishna, or they are agents of Krishna. So Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. It's also stated in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all the yajna. Bhoktaram Tabasam Sarvalogam Hesharam. 5th chapter 29th sloka says that. Therefore, the ultimate satisfaction of the yajnapatis is the chief purpose of all the yajnas. Yajna Shishtasha Shando Munchante Sarva Kilvishay Munchate Tetva Agam Papa Ye Pachanti Atmakaranat. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for their personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So that means we are not just vegetarians, we are prasadarians, in the sense, even killing vegetables involve karma, but then when it's offered to Krishna, then it is called as what? Prasadam. That's the mercy, is karma free. So the devotees, they get rid of all kind of sin by offering the food to the Lord. So you might be coming from different types of families. There might be people who are eating non-veg in your family. That's okay. So what you do is, as senior Vaishnavas have said, you can have one vessel where you cook sattvic food without onion, garlic, and without tasting it. In the sense, when you taste, it becomes the uchishta. So offer in a nice vessel to the Lord. Or you can also give simple fruits and flowers and tulsi and water with dry fruits can also be offered, and that can be taken as prasadam. However is your situation. If you can really cook nice vegetarian dish and offer to Krishna as prasadam, means as bhog, and then take it as prasadam and distribute to your family, that's fine. But at least some part of prasadam should go to you in your consciousness daily. Then only the process of Krishna consciousness will work. Then only you can advance in Krishna consciousness quickly. So devotees always perform yajna in different modes. Yajna can be in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performances of yajna keep them aloof from all kind of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves, but they are all eaters of all kinds of sin. Because there's karma involved, right? And it says, Annad bhavati bhudani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains, and rains are produced from the performance of yajna, sacrifice. And yajna is born of prescribed duty. So what is the yajna in Satyuga? Anybody can say. You can unmute.
Nama Sankirtan.
Satyuga.
Tapa.
Sorry.
Tapa.
Tapas or meditation. Treta Yuga.
Yajna.
Sacrifice. Dwapar Yuga.
Deity worship.
Deity worship.
Worship.
Building temples.
And Kali Yuga.
Nam Sankirtan.
Harinam Sankirtan.
Nama Sankirtan. Okay, so in Satyuga, the meditation was done because the lifespan was 1 lakh of years, and there was such a place where there is calm and quiet, and meditation was easily possible. And Treta Yuga, there were yajna is done, but nowadays there is no such place where you get nice brahmanas to chant the mantra. Then you won't get nice ghee, it's very costly, and all that shortcomings are there. Then in Dwapara Yuga, temple worship, yes. Elaborate temple worship is not possible nowadays. And because of Corona, many temples got closed down, right? Locked down. So the prescribed in Kali Yuga is Hari Kirtanam, or the chanting of the holy name. And so that sacrifice, whatever sacrifice we do, that is actually for Krishna. In those days also Harinam Sankirtan is actually there. See, when you take Satyuga, Narasimhadev appeared in Satyuga, and Prahlad Maharaj was actually chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even Dhruv Maharaj in Satyuga, right? He went and he also was given the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he was meditating, Dhruv Maharaj, for 6 months in the forest. But along with that, there was mantra also. In Treta Yuga, when you take, Vibhishana was always chanting Lord Ram's name. Mata Sita was in Ashokavana, and she was also chanting. And Hanuman could hear Vibhishana chanting Lord Ram's name. Hanuman chanting Lord Ram's name. Ram's name was written on the rock which was used to build the Sedu Bandhan. So Harinam was still there. Yajna was going on. The Nam was also there. In Dwapara Yuga, when you say Draupadi, she was also calling for Krishna when she was insulted in the assembly. So Harinam is always there. From Satyuga to Kali Yuga, Harinam is always there, along with the other prescribed process. But more specifically, in Kali Yuga, Harinam is given importance. Okay. So all living beings, okay, so there's a cycle there. So what is the analogy of epidemic disease and antiseptic vaccine? This is a Bhakti Shastri level closed book question. Yes? Does anyone know?
Yeah, this is equivalent to, the vaccine which we take to prevent epidemic. Similarly, to prevent ourselves from the samsara sagara, from this birth and death cycle, Hari
Yes.
Sarana and Hari Smarana is the only
Yes.
way.
Yes. So the epidemic disease and the antiseptic vaccine. Okay. So all of you should know the analogy, okay, about this, because it will be asked. Yes, Sharanya Mataji, you want to add something?
No, Mataji, the same.
Okay. Yastva atma radir eva syat atma triptasya manavaha atmani evasya santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization and is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no beauty. In the sense, somebody who is fully Krishna conscious, he is actually performing the best service in the whole world, because he has given his life, dedicated his life to propagate Krishna consciousness, which is the best humanitarian service, right? So somebody who's in the taking pleasure in the self, they are called Atma Ramas. Okay, Atma Ramas is the liberated soul who is satisfied in the self. And for him, there is no duty, in the sense he's always in Krishna consciousness. His action is in Krishna consciousness. He's doing akarma, where there is no reaction for it. So action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the results, but acts on the behalf of Krishna alone. And he engages all kind of activities and is completely not attached to it. What is the example of non-attachment of a Krishna conscious devotee, a pure devotee? Put in the chat.
Lotus flower, Mataji.
Patra Bhimam, ma'am. Lotus water droplets on lotus leaf.
Yes, Patma Patram Ivambasha, right? Patma Patram Ivambasha means the droplet on the lotus leaf.
Action in Krishna consciousness is transcendently to the reactions of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the results, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all
Yeah. So Mausami Mataji is asking about the Atma Ramas are liberated souls who are satisfied in the self, in the sense who is always Krishna conscious, who's already liberated. Okay, they want to satisfy Krishna, and they're always self-satisfied. Okay, that's what Atma Ramas are. Yeah, so yes, Siddharth Prabhu.
I think another Hare Krishna, another expression was also there. I think it is similar. Please confirm. That is Atmani eva Atmana Tushta. Same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
Atmani Atmana Tishta. So somebody who's satisfied in the self, no? So they are
right.
called liberated souls. They are Atma Ramas. So this sloka will come in the first canto, 7th chapter, verse 10 of Bhagavatam again. Atma Ramascha Muniyo Nirgranda Abhi Urukrame Kurvanti Haidukim Bhakti Idam Bhuta Guno Hari. So Atma Ramascha Muniyo, these munis, they are Atma Ramas. They are so satisfied in the self that they just want to do pure devotional service to Krishna and nothing else. And they are so attracted to the transcendental qualities of Hari, so Krishna. So they are called Atma Ramas. Okay, they are non-attached as Padmapatrami Vamasha and also like a dry coconut. I gave you the example for dry coconut also. Yat yatachariti shreshtas tattat evetaro jana sayat pramatam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. Whatever action a great man perform, the common man will follow. And whatever standards he set by exemplary act, all the world pursues. In the sense, so Arjuna wants to run off from the battlefield. So Krishna is like, if you as a leader run off from the battlefield, everybody will follow the same thing. So whatever great men do, that's why Srila Prabhupada wants all the great personalities in the society to be Krishna conscious. Why? Because then the whole world will change. All the slaughterhouses will be closed. No cows will be killed anymore. No animals will be killed. All the liquor shops, everything is going to get closed, and everybody is going to be sattvic. Just imagine a world like that. It's going to be more peaceful. But then the demonic characters in Kali Yuga, they will not allow the world to be like that. Otherwise, what's the point of Kalki taking avatar, no, to destroy those? So world is going to become worse and worse, and next 10,000 years is going to be the golden age of Kali. So we should all escape before that, it is said. And the law books for these 10,000 years will be Srila Prabhupada's books. But after that, everything is going to get destroyed. And the Srimad Bhagavatam explains the world is going to be in a very pathetic condition. So if the great personalities are Krishna conscious or they do the right things, then the common people will follow. So, okay. So there is a breakout room here about an acharya. Okay, you should discuss about an idol teacher. Who's an idol teacher? And discuss with your group a recent incident where others followed your example. So this is like a personal application. Okay. So this is the sloka is 21 sloka. You can read the purport. Like you became a leader and you did something nice, which others could follow your example, a recent incident. Okay, so it's like an and also you can comment on who's an acharya, who's an idol teacher. You got the question. You just have to discuss something nice which you have done and which others took it as a positive thing and they followed your example. So it says, Yad yad achariti sreshta tattat evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. People will also follow you. Like once you, so great people, whatever we do. So the example where a recent incident in your personal life might be, you like to share. Okay, we'll just have 4 breakout rooms. Just go and discuss a 5 minutes quick breakout room and come back. All of you are back. Okay, we'll just wait for this to come back.
One, two, three, come on. Oh.
Hi, Krishna. It is all back. We'll take the breakout room discussion towards the end. Nandita Mataji, you can post the attendance link. Okay. So we'll take it towards the end. So yeah. So we saw this. Yad Achariti Srishta Tattate Verajana. Sayat Pramanam Kudade Logas Tad Anu Vartate. Okay. So Acharya and an ideal teacher is somebody who is like Srila Prabhupada, who have just not preached but practiced what he preached. No, that's what an Acharya is. Okay, so he's the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So please fill the attendance form and come back. We have an important discussion here. So there's something called a law of karma. So we have discussed last class also, like if you do a punya and if you do a papa, it doesn't get balanced. Or if you do a papa and then do a punya, it doesn't get balanced. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You do papa, there is bad reaction coming. And if we do punya, there is good reaction coming. So the proof we have done punya is that they might be born in a rich family, aristocratic family, or educated, beautiful or handsome, and all the opulences. All this is because of punya, good health. But if you have a chronic disease with an accident or some legal issues, legal cases, or ugliness, illiteracy, poverty, all this is because of our papa coming back, the reaction. So law of karma can be like what effect is this? Does anyone know? The first picture.
Dominoes effect?
Domino effect.
Yeah, why is karma compared to a dominoes effect? Law of karma.
This
Like
is third law of Newton's law.
Newton's law of Prabhu, but each cube represents what in the law of karma? Like if you push one cube, everything falls, right? That's what a dominoes effect is. So that means what? When you use this analogy to explain law of karma, how do you explain it?
Mataji, does each block represent a sin of ours and it keeps connecting and falling?
Okay. Yeah,
Like
almost
keep
close.
falling down.
Almost close. Yes, Mamta Mataji?
Yes, I was going to say that because one thing after follows on another things, because you got sick, then something happened. So these karma people coming one after.
Yeah, so that means if this one cube is our first life, the first cube is our first life, we'll do some punya and papa, and then we take rebirth again to enjoy that punya or to suffer the papa. And while enjoying the punya or suffering the papa, again we do some reaction, some karma, then again reaction. So it's like a cyclic chain. As you all said, yes, it's interconnected. All the sinful reactions and punya and papa, everything is interconnected. So that means we might be suffering now, but the sin would have been done long, long ago. Or might be nowadays it's all in immediate action. Sometimes we do sin this life, we get the reaction this life. It depends. It depends. Krishna decides. So this is how the law of karma works, like a dominoes effect. It's all interconnected. from one life to another lives, right? It keeps, so while enjoying the punya, again I do some karma, again there is reaction, again I take next life, and it goes on and on. Like a boomerang. How can the law of karma like be a boomerang?
As boomerang, when we throw, it comes back to us. The same thing, karma we do, it come back
Yes.
to us.
So definitely it comes back to us, right? So it is said like a Brahmastra. So Brahmastra, which was left by Ashwathama to kill Parikshit Maharaj, it says that Brahmastra is almost like a nuclear weapon, atomic bomb. The difference is that it's subtle and it's produced by reciting mantras. And this Brahmastra, there is a specific qualification is that once it is sent, it will just go hit the target and come back. It will not destroy anybody else, but it will go to the target. So this boomerang, like you throw, you do a reaction, then the reaction comes back to us only. That's how a law of karma is. So this is a nice quote which says, how you are treated, it's their karma, and how you react is our karma. So while we react, we should be careful. Okay, it's because it becomes our karma when we react. So actually, it says that even gossip has karma coming back. So sometimes we'll be shocked to know that. But if we talk about somebody done something like that, just imagine a person have not done anything wrong, but we speak about it. So 100% karma will come to you. But if somebody have done something and then you speak about it, 50% karma comes. Okay, and also whatever sin the wife does, it comes to the husband. And whatever good things husband does comes to the wife. So there's always exchange of karma happening. Don't ask me why and all, but this is what I've heard from senior Vaishnavas saying that this is how the karma is shared. So definitely husband wife shares karma. Children also share the karma. Twins share the karma, right? You have heard that during the corona time, one twin passed away and the next twin passed in few hours time, right? It was like because the twins, even they're like different souls, they had to suffer karma together. So they had to go in another mother's womb together, enjoy the reactions or suffer the reactions together. There was a karma binding. Okay. And also it is said that the karma of animal killer, it goes to 6 people. Does anyone know who are the 6 persons who take the karma of an animal slaughtering?
Last person is the eater. Before that, whoever is last person is the eater. Before that, who is killing it, then who is distributing it, then who is sending it to the table. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Who is distributing it? Yes, Prithvi Mataji. Anything else? There are 6 of them.
One who gives permission to slaughter, one who slaughters, one who carries the slaughtered animal, one who cooks, one who feeds, and one more I don't remember.
So Bhagavatam explains the 6 of it is one who actually give permission to kill, one who kills or do the slaughter, one who sells that slaughtered animal, and one who cooks it, one who distributes the foodstuff, and one who eats it. So all of them get the equal karma. So this is what, so we all have done that, or may or may not have done before coming to Krishna consciousness, but it's all taken care by the, Harinam which we do, the chanting. But we should not do the sin, continue doing.
You lost your voice, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so that this slide is very, very important to know where actually our sinful life started. Okay, so this is from Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Sri Rupa Goswami. We'll be dealing with it in depth in module 4, but now just a glimpse of it. Cycle of sinful life. Okay, so first we have something called ignorance. Because of ignorance, we actually avidya or ignorance, we don't know what is right and what is wrong, so we do the sin. So that is avidya or ignorance. Because of avidya or ignorance, we do the sin. And then because we have the sinful desire, that's called bija. From so many janmas, we have the sinful desire to do the sin. That's called bija. And once I have a desire, I do the sin. That is called papa. I do the sinful actions. Once I do the papa, there are 2 reactions for it. There is aprakata and prakata, in the sense aprarabdha and prarabdha. There's something unmanifested reaction and a manifested reaction. So unmanifested reaction means, again, I feel like doing the sin again and again. That's called kutam. I'll give a nice example. I want to become rich very soon. So I thought of robbing a bank. So that is avidya, that's robbing a bank. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. So it's because of ignorance, I have the desire. So I have a desire of robbing a bank. Then when I have a desire, that's bijam, I do the sin of robbing. That's called papa. Okay. And once I do it, because I've worn mask and hidden the CCTV camera, police didn't catch me. So that's called aprarabdha stage or unmanifested reaction. I didn't get the reaction yet. So what will happen? My confidence level increases and I feel like robbing another bank again and again. That's called kuta. Okay, sinful disposition means feel like doing the sin again and again. That's called kuta. So this process keeps repeating. And once I'll be caught by the police, that's called prarabdha or manifested reaction. That means we done the sin and we suffer the reaction and there is klesha or suffering. You understood the cycle?
Yes, Mataji.
So if the sin is done in ignorance, punishment will come, Mitra Mataji. Why? Because even if you have gone to the US and the driving is on the other side in the US, right? Not like here. So the traffic rules are also different. So you go to US and you drive there like you're driving in India. Do you think the traffic police will not catch you? There is all cameras there and definitely they'll fine you and you have to pay the fine. You can't say, oh, because I don't know the traffic rules in US, I'm really sorry, I can't pay the fine. No. So ignorance is not an excuse. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. It's not an excuse. So you, ignorant or not, you will get the reaction. We will get the reaction. So that's normal. That is, we can't say ignorant, I'm ignorant. So human being means we are not supposed to be ignorant. So it's okay, whatever sin we have done in ignorance, we can't help now. But at least now, after studying Shastra, we should know what is right and wrong. So this is the process. Because of ignorance, I feel like having a desire to do the sin, that's called bija, sinful desire. And once I have a desire, I do the sin, that's called papa. And once I've done the sin, there might be an aprarabdha stage, that is unmanifested reaction, that is the reaction didn't come. So I feel like doing the sin again and again. It's called kuta. Okay, sinful disposition. This cycle keep repeating. Again, I do the sin. Again, I do the sin. Might be in this life or next life after so many life, I'll suffer the reaction. That's called prarabdha stage or manifested reaction. And that is klesha or suffering. Now, where will I cut the process?
By Harinam Mataji.
No, where? Which stage? Here.
At bija stage.
Bija? All of you agree with bija?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Any other stage? Only so everybody agree with bija?
No, at avidya stage.
The very first stage.
Who says avidya?
Siddharth.
Siddharth Prabhu and Rakshit and Sharanya Mataji. Yeah, why do you have to go to the bija stage? Why do you have to have the desire? You can cut it in ignorance, no? Why do you want to have that desire come? Because once the desire comes, it's very difficult to uproot the desire. So why do you have to cut it in bija? Cut it in ignorance. Cut the ignorance. Om Atnyana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakya Chakshul Vidamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. Atnyana Timirandasya. We're all born of Timira, the cataract of Atnyada, that is ignorance. We're all born of that ignorance. We don't know what is right, what is not. We think we are this body. We never thought about a soul. We don't know the Supreme Lord. We don't know the goal of life. No, we don't know anything. So we're all born ignorance. And with the torchlight of knowledge, the Guru gives us Shastra. And so our ignorance will just get cut. So the stage of ignorance is gone, right? So then we come to the knowledge level. That is called Vidya. So avidya is ignorance, and from that stage itself, it has to be cut. Okay, so that the whole process stops. So Krishna have nothing to do actually to say Gnatasya karyam karanam chavikshati, in the sense the Lord have actually nothing to do. He is the Supreme Personality Godhead. His agents will do. He has part and parcel with the demigods. They will carry out the results. So one who must receive the results of the work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary system certainly has no duty. Like so, once a German devotee came to India and went to different temples and finally came to ISKCON and told to Srila Prabhupada that here is God. This Krishna is God. And Prabhupada said, how do you know? You never read Shastras. How do you know Krishna is God? So he said, when I went to different temples, every demigod was involved in some kind of activity. Mother Kali was with the Trishul, killing somebody, and everybody was doing something or the other. So it's only Krishna who is holding a flute and dancing with Radharani. So he's the Swayam Bhagavan, because Bhagavan makes others do, because you can see he's above the three modes of material nature. He's the controller. Okay. Yadi hi aham na varteyam jadu karmani atandridaha mama vartmanu vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties of Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. So Krishna, even then when he came as Swayam Bhagavan Avatari, okay, he came as the son of Vasudeva, as a Kshatriya, or he came as the son of Nanda Maharaj, as a Vaishya, doesn't mean Krishna is a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. He's above the three modes. These designation is for us conditioned souls. Okay, so Krishna, definitely he have done his prescribed duty of grazing the cows when he came as a cowherd boy or as a Kshatriya, as a king. He have done his duty just to set a nice example so that common people can follow him. Usideyur ime loka nakuryam karma chedaham sankarashya chakartasyam upahanyam imam prajaha. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these world would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. So if Krishna didn't perform his prescribed duty, then everything would have spoiled. But then the Lord is doing his work through the agents. So the Lord is the father of all living entities, Aham Bija Prapapita. And if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. So therefore, whenever there is a general disregard of regulative principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the society. So we should have our note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. So that's called Anukaran and Anucharan. Okay, so we should follow the footsteps, Mahajanena Kadasya Panta. We should follow the footsteps of the devotees, but we should not imitate them or copy them. That's not possible. Okay, and that's foolishness to copy them. We can get inspired by them. So there are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. What do you mean by this statement? There's so many incarnations, okay, of the Lord without the power of the Supreme Godhead. Means what?
This means all the avatars except Krishna avatar, they do not have all the power and all the six opulences of Krishna.
Yeah, very nice. Yes, like
Rama, like all the Shabataras.
Okay, so that means they don't have all the, that is one way of putting it. There's one more way. 64 qualities, the 64 gunas, the 64 qualities.
Yes,
What else? What else? Balaji Prabhu.
They don't have
the other avatars had not manifested all the powers.
Not manifested all the power in the sense. What about Vamanadev, Varahadev and all?
So obviously they had all the powers, but
Yes.
For that avatar, whatever was required, they manifested only those powers.
Yeah, very nice. So that's what it means. That yes, one way of putting it is that all the opulences were not there in all of them because Krishna is Swayam Avatari or Bhagavan. So all the 6 opulences were full in him. But what about the power? Like example given is like a powerhouse. Okay, the powerhouse is supplying power to different places. So it supplies us power to a small house which has only few LED bulbs. So little energies, the electricity is read. But the same powerhouse can supply to an industry which has a lot of generators and big machines running, which need lot of power. So does that mean the powerhouse only less power? No, it can supply less power also, and also it can supply bigger, higher power. So similarly, Krishna has all the power in him, but whatever his power is required for particular incarnations, he gives that power. Like Narasimhadev had to come from the pillar and kill Hiranyakashipu, so he needed more power. Lord Ram need not have much power, or in the sense Varahadev, Vamanadev, whatever is required in that particular avatar, that's what is required. It's given. So many incarnations are there, like the waves of the ocean, you can't count. But Dashavadar is just included in that by Jaydev Goswami. But it doesn't mean Krishna have only 10 avatars. There's unlimited. Bhagavatam explains 22, 24 avatars, 22 avatars. But here there's so many actually. And all the avatar doesn't have the power of the Lord Supreme. Sakta karmani avidvamsho yada kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tata saktas chikirshurloka sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duty with attachment to the results, the learned men similarly act but without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. So the ignorant people also, they perform their duty but they are attached to the results. We are called as what? The ignorant people who was attached are called as? Yes.
Karmis. Maya apahrita janaha.
Their karmis, Maya Apritajnana is somebody who's not surrendered to Krishna, who has knowledge. But here, they're doing their duty, but they're not attached to the duties. Yes, karmis, sakama karmi, right? Sakama. And without attachment is nishkama karma. Na buddhi bedam jnanayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vitvan yukta samacharan. So as not to disturb the mind of ignorant men attached to the fruity results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So the main goal is to engage everyone in Krishna conscious activities. Okay, that's the main goal of human form of life. So human form of life is not to be wasted; it is to be used in a proper way. 43 slokas for chapter 3. So we can stop in somewhere near 50. So Vedesya Sarve Rahameva Vedam, Krishna says that's the end of all Vedic rituals, that all rituals, all performance of sacrifice and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, whose ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned soul do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahangara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, think himself the doer of the activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. So who is actually the doer?
Guna.
The three modes? Only the three modes?
The mind.
Prakriti.
Ankara.
Prakriti is the gunas. Prakriti means the three modes of material nature. Krishna has to sanction, right? So Krishna sanctions, the soul desires, and the three modes of material nature carries it out. So there are three doers. It's not only the material nature. Can Prakriti alone do something? No. Krishna has to sanction. Without Krishna's sanction, even a blade of grass doesn't move. So he is the super soul or the Paramatma. He is the supreme. He has to sanction it. Unless Krishna sanction, unless the boss sanction, you won't get your leave. So in the sense, he's the boss. He has to sanction it. But the material nature or the three gunas will carry it out. But can they just carry it out anything? No. They need someone's desire. So the soul has to desire. Jiva, or the soul, has to have some desire. The three modes of material nature will carry it out under the sanctioning of Krishna. So we'll see later on chapters, we'll see there are three doers. We think we are the doer because of our false ego. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he's the doer of everything. We think we are the doer. If not, we are actually not the doer. But then, so what do you think? Negative things is also sanctioned by Krishna? Terrorism.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why Krishna is doing that?
Because that is my desire.
Yes. So that's because the soul desired it. The soul, even though it is in ignorance, but desired, had so much of desire. See, like a child wants to play with the knife or a fire and so adamant, okay? So adamant that it's not eating and falling on the ground, the stepper tantrums and throwing everything, not eating, not sleeping. So many things happening. The parents will be so tired. And if it's a loving father, will say, okay, you play with the knife or play with the fire, but once you get burned or hurt, you will not repeat it anymore. So the parent wants the child to go through, if the child is intelligent, just by hearing from the father will keep quiet. But if it's not, so adamant that it goes to the extent of playing with the knife or the fire, and as a sweet father, you allow it so that the child learn from that mistake. So the jiva having so many negative association, desire to do the sin. And Krishna is a sweet father, is a witness, Paramatma, and Krishna sanctions it. Okay, so even though it's a negative thing, so that we learn from the mistake. तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्मा विभागयो गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्ता इति मत्वा न सज्जति. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, Almighty does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Okay, so somebody who knows that Krishna, somebody is in knowledge, doesn't engage himself in the senses and sense gratification. He knows, right? What is the difference in work in devotion and no. So when you work for fruitive results, your work will cause bondage and you will be in this material world again and again. But when you work for devotion for Krishna, then there is liberation. So real identity is that we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we have to engage ourselves in the activities of Krishna consciousness and become naturally unattached to the activities of material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. Prakrite guna sammudha sanchante guna karmashu tan akrishna vito mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them. And although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. So we become so attached, it's called Rajoguna, in kind of Rajoguna. The devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord. Why? Because they understand the purpose of the Lord. And consequently, they take all the risk, even to the point of approaching ignorant men and try to engage them in the act of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for human beings. So, and the devotees are more kind because they like to preach about the Lord. I'll stop with this sloka. Mai sarvani karmani sannyasya atma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhya sva vikata jvara. So it says, O Arjuna, surrender all your work unto Krishna with full knowledge of Krishna, without desire for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, and free from lethargy and fight. Okay, so no claims of proprietorship, free from lethargy and fight. So he's like, nothing belongs to you. The Ishopanishad also says, mantra 1, Ishavasamitam sarvam kinja jagatyam jagattena tektena gunjita magrida krishya sviddanam. So Ishavasamitam sarvam, everything belongs to Krishna. Right? And whatever is allotted to you, you have to, your quota, we have to enjoy only that. We cannot go into another person's property. So because everything belongs to Krishna. Once Prabhupada was saying, you want to renounce everything and run away like a yogi. So you renounce your family, your friends and family and all the wealth and everything you have and run off to forest. Okay. Just to do like a yogi. So you are saying you are renouncing, but what are you renouncing? Prabhupada's like, forest also belongs to Krishna only, no? So whether you are in the forest or in the city or a town or village, everything belongs to Krishna. We didn't bring anything here when we were born. When we die also, we don't take anything and go. Just we take our karma back, right? So instead of taking punya and papa, let's do akarma, do devotional service, so that punya and papa gets crushed and there's no more rebirth. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna, you work for Krishna, that you surrender and work for Krishna, thinking that Krishna is the proprietor, he is the enjoyer, he is the doer, right? In the sense, he is the one who's sanctioning it. The jiva has a minute independence. Krishna will not interfere in our minute independence. When Krishna is sanctioning all the negative things happening around the world, Krishna never interferes in your minute independence. The minute independence example is like a cow. Okay, if a cow is tied in a tree, the cow can go around the tree in that particular radius of the rope tied. It cannot cross the boundary, right? And nobody will interfere in that. So similarly, we have a minute independence. In that minute independence, Krishna will never interfere. Okay, so we can use it in a good way or a negative way. It's up to us. See, now, many of you could have gone for a movie or watched a match or whatever it is. If you came for Bhagavad Gita class because you used it in the right way. But nobody forced you to do it. So, Krishna as Paramatma will inspire you, but then you as a jiva had a minute independence. Yes, Siddharth Prabhu?
No, one thing which is coming to my mind is that the word Vigata Jvaraha here Prabhupada is saying that it is lethargy. Jvara also means fever.
Yeah, Jvara, yes.
So Jvara is also fever. So So what I find in 3.30 is that it is a paracetamol for Jora. Surrender to me, so you get the paracetamol. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes, very nice. So yes, by surrendering to Krishna, we are actually giving ourselves under control of the Lord. So surrender aspect, it has 6 aspects to surrender. Surrender is not just a simple term to understand, but surrender means 6 aspects in Bhakti Vilas, Hari Bhakti Vilas. It says, Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam Rakshishyat Iti Vishwaso Govitrete Varanam Tata Atmaniksheba Karpanya Shadvita Sharanagati. There are 6 aspects of surrender. So when Krishna says, Sarvadharma Paritya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, that means surrender to Krishna. What do you mean by surrender? Surrender means accepting what is favoring Krishna consciousness. Anukulina Sankalpa. Pratikulina Varjita. That is rejecting what is not favoring Krishna consciousness. Rakshishyat iti vishwaso. Have strong faith that Krishna will protect you. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. Okay? Having strong faith that Krishna will definitely protect you. Then, Gobitreta Varanam Tada. Accepting Krishna as the maintainer. And Karpanya, that is being humble. And also having that gratitude towards Krishna. So all this is submissive attitude. That's called surrender. So when Krishna says surrender, it's a long process, surrendering. But Krishna puts a condition. You have to surrender and then aham tvam sarva pape. Krishna takes away all your papa. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never tells all the surrender process. Anyone can just chant Hare Krishna and take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so we'll close here. We'll stop here for 30th sloka. So next week, we'll finish chapter 3. There's 43 slokas together. So please read up to 43 and come. And next week, I'll give you your open book marks. Okay? Marks for your first open book question. So we'll take the breakout room question quickly. Any personal experience or personal... so there are 4 rooms. So we'll take from room number...
Can we ask a question now or after the breakout room on this chapter?
Yeah, after the breakout room. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so who's saying yes? Siddharth Prabhu, yes.
So the group number, we don't remember, but we have Mosui Mataji, Gaurav Prabhuji, Panaja Mataji. So we have discussed in detail the personal experiences, as in whatever we have done and how it has been affected the environment. So Mosui Mataji talked about the glories of Krishna and how other members of the families also slowly initiated into it. And the best example, I mean, there are also various examples. Saurabh Prabhuji was also saying that once he started the regulative principles, then all the Vaishnava etiquettes like onion, garlic, etc. So his friends, relatives, as well as people in the house and home, they've also started that. They have started saying Radhe Radhe in place of Hare Krishna, in place of hello and all that. So those things happened actually in life. There is also another beautiful thing which has happened is in the life of Banja Mataji is that her sister, mother, husband, all of them started going to temple, chanting. What she chanting, others are following. So it is not that it was explicitly told or explicitly preached by any of our devotees who said that. They were just doing their job. They were just doing as per the requirement, and others people have followed. In my case also, it's a very beautiful example I have is it was in the COVID time when I was doing class and Bhagavad Gita class, and that time my daughter was also there in the house, and she was also in a service. So for some or other reason, if I get angry, then she used to say that oh no, your Gita is of no help, it is of no use. How you are getting angry if you are in Gita? So she was of that temper at that important time. And later on, after 2 years, she got admitted to a management school, and one fine morning she called me and said that I've never said that you read Bhagavad Gita or you do this or that. I've never said. You do whatever you like. And she gave me a surprise saying that I have bought Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, and she actually said a verse in Sanskrit. So that was a gift to me. Hare Krishna.
So nice. Very good. Yes, Vijay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, Siddharth Prabhu's most of the points was actually are relevant to me because I have a small daughter. She is actually 3 years old. So whenever we used to chant Mahamantra, so she used to come and play with us, and now slowly and steadily she wants her own asana. She wants her own beat back, and we are surprised that she is only 3 years old, and she puts her hand in the bead bag and takes out the index finger and move the hands as we chant. And while we are doing Tulsi Aarti in the morning, so she goes around does the pradakshina and the mantra, that is Yani Kani Cha Papani. She remembers most of the words. So I think that is mercy of Lord.
Yeah, definitely. So they are actually Vaikunta children, Prabhupada says. So they just have to have some association then. But it's nice. Like Prabhupada's like, first you bend in front of Krishna, then you make your children bend. So they are like sponge, they absorb. So whatever the parents do, so we can't force them to Krishna consciousness without we being into that. So yes, that's being a great example for the children to follow. Yes, Balaji Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think we were room number 1, Mataji. So first of all, like you had asked, we discussed who is an acharya. So I actually remembered the Sanskrit definition, acharam grahati. So one who follows what he teaches, and also it's not just anything he can teach. So like in purport they say a teacher must follow the principles of shastras, and shastras also he cannot manufacture himself, so it has to be in disciplic succession. So first this was there, and then we also had very nice examples. Like we had an example of we started wearing the Vaishnava tilak and Kanti mala to our workplace and when we go outside. So people acknowledge that they actually start to respect us. They also start to greet us that way, Hare Krishna and all. And then for me, actually, it has happened the same way. My family members also have slowly started following things, chanting, and my wife has started making this thing mala for the Lord. And then one more thing we saw, that when actually we devotees put this WhatsApp status on some short videos, Krishna's picture. So people are acknowledging that also. And like I was saying, that even if few people after reading that or seeing that, they get inspired. So that itself is a success for us. And then one was like slowly when we do this japa Krishna consciousness, our nature and character automatically changes. And that also actually one of them or few of them said that their this thing neighbors who were not very nice with them earlier, because now these people have started becoming nice with them, so they also have started reciprocated accordingly. And then I also had remembered hearing from one of the senior devotees that we should actually so we should always say that rules are actually first for us, it's not for others. So let's first actually get into it, and then the other people will actually start following that. They'll reciprocate. Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes. Dikshit Prabhu, that's something.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So about an acharya and nectar of instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions that Vacho vegam manasa krota vegam jivva vegam udaro upasta vegam etan veganyo vishet dia sarvana praman pratyam chidasya. So a sober person who can control the 6 urges is definitely fit to make disciple all over the world. And in addition to that, an acharya must be a bona fide personality who has inherited the knowledge from a right source, and one must live for the orders of his guru, such that Srila Prabhupada had lived. And we can very well know about Bhakti Vinod Thakur from his Okay Vaishnav Thakur Bhajan and Sambandha Janaya. And about personal experience, many Mataji have shared that they have done small Bhakti Vriksha sessions in their home, such as chanting Vishnu Sahasranam or hearing Harikatha or doing some sort of kirtan and distributing prasadam and involving the other kids also into the service. So they'll be a bit, what do you call it as, interested in doing some sort of devotional service. And in addition to that, they also, when they start doing devotional service, they are slowly their family members, their neighbors, all started to do some of them started to execute devotional service. And about my personal experience, although people disapprove it, but still, at least for some sort of criticism, they used to tell Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So at least that improvement, that they are able to tell Hare Krishna and they are able to remember Krishna once in a day, that makes me happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay. So I think almost all of them have explained. Yes, Nandita Mataji, what's the question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, in verse 17, when it is said the self twice or thrice, the self means Krishna here.
Verse 17?
Verse 17, Mataji. It says, but for one who takes pleasure in the self.
In the self.
That,
okay. Yes. So for a pure devotee, self means Krishna. In the sense, he actually, because for them, they are one with the Lord, in the sense, not like a Mayavadi. Their thought is with the quality wise, they are one with the Lord in Sachidananda form. So they find pleasure in the self, in the sense, their mind is full of Krishna, or Tumara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishram. Their heart is full of Krishna, or they have Krishna in their mind, in the heart. So they think about the Lord as self, in the sense, they don't think about this material body. Okay. Nothing for them. For a liberated soul, they are part and parcel of Krishna. So they think Krishna and they are the part and parcel of Krishna. In the sense, they are minute part of the Lord. So somebody who is self-satisfied, in the sense, somebody who finds pleasure in the self, in the sense, not the body, but the Atma, okay, connected with the Supreme Lord, Paramatma.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Snigdha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Last class Mataji, you told action in inaction and inaction in action.
Oh,
Please
that didn't come
explain.
here. Which sloka is that? Which sloka number? I think it will come next discussion, right? Action and inaction. Because it needs some explanation. You should have reminded me towards the beginning. Just remind me in the beginning, no, Mataji, next time. So that
Okay,
I can, because it needs little explanation and it's almost time now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we can end here if there's no more questions. So please participate in the breakout room. I got some complaints, in the sense only some are dominating, some are not even opening up in the breakout room. So please don't do that. I can see who all have joined, who have not joined breakout room. So here in the list. So please participate. Open up. It's okay. You might have some kind of issues. Then you can discuss it with me on Nandita Mataji. But otherwise, please be active in the breakout room. It actually helps you, to have association with such nice devotees, and then open up and speak. Okay. And if you can't come and speak here, that's okay. Some other devotee can speak. But at least in breakout room, you have a small group of 4 or 5 devotees. Just go there and try to communicate. And someone takes the lead and takes the opinion of others. So see that all of them are unmuted and all of them speaks in breakout room, okay? So that it becomes interactive. Otherwise, the session becomes dry, and then because there's a limit of listening. You can't listen for 2 hours. So 1.5 hours is the best session. And before we used to have 2 hours, and we used to break the session to 1 hour and 1 hour in between, some Vaishnava bhajan in between. But it takes a long time. So that's why we made it 1.5 hours. So it's easy for you to grasp whatever we take, okay? So I might speak fast, so you can always slow me down. And also, if you can clear whichever part you didn't understand, you can definitely ask me again, so that we cover it again and go then and there, okay? Okay, so I think we can end here. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Nandita Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pancha kalpadru Vaishya kripa sindhu Devi Japati Tanam Pavani Vaishnavi.